Hello and welcome back to HARCUS CGTV, where in this episode we will be talking about Indonesia, and we will be asking what's the chances of them progressing in the Mitsubishi Cup. We are going to ask from Football Indonesia, Putra, and also we are speaking to Anthony Sutton, who is better known as Jakarta Casual. So two heavyweights to answer all the Indonesian questions of what's the chances. So let's get straight into it. As I said, we have Putra and we also have Sutton here to answer. Jakarta Casual, Anthony Sutton, to give him his Sunday name. So two heavyweights that can answer all the questions we have on Indonesia's chances. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for coming on HARCUS CGTV.
Pleasure for me.
Really looking forward to asking you some questions about the Mitsubishi Cup and the Indonesia team. So straight into it, right from the beginning, how do you think that the Indonesia national team will do in the Mitsubishi Cup this year compared to how well they did in the Suzuki Cup?
Jadi saya pikir Indonesia akan cukup mempunyai peluang yang besar untuk memenangkan kejuaraan di tahun ini karena untuk membuat prediksi kita harus membuat dari sisi internal dan sisi eksternal. Sisi internal itu Indonesia sendiri. Di Indonesia, timnas Indonesia memenangkan 2 pertandingan melawan Curaçao. Curaçao itu sendiri adalah negara yang mempunyai ranking FIFA di atas Indonesia, dan tentu saja itu membuat tim Indonesia mempunyai motivasi lebih untuk memenangkan pertandingan, memenangkan Piala AFF. Dan untuk namun kita tahu sendiri kalau Liga 1 terhenti karena ada tragedi di Malang, membuat liga ini berhenti sejenak, dan berita yang beredar mengatakan bahwa Liga 1 akan bergulir kembali di awal Desember tahun 2022 ini. Jadi saya harap Liga 1 akan bergulir sebelum Piala AFF dimulai karena tentu akan bagus untuk pemain untuk bisa mencicipi lagi pertandingan-pertandingan liga, karena tanpa pertandingan liga tentu persiapan pemain akan tidak maksimal. Dan kemudian untuk kita lihat sisi dari Malaysia, Singapura, Thailand, Vietnam, kondisi mereka tidak terlalu stabil seperti Indonesia. Malaysia mengumumkan bahwa beberapa pemain inti mereka tidak bergabung untuk Piala AFF, kemudian Thailand tidak bermain bersama Chanatip Songkrasin, sedangkan Vietnam sedang diguncang isu bahwa Park Hang-seo akan mengundurkan diri dari kursi pelatih Vietnam di tahun 2023. Jadi saya pikir jadi Indonesia mempunyai chance atau peluang yang lebih dibanding keempat negara tersebut karena kondisi dan entusiasme Indonesia yang di atas rata-rata di atas negara lain.
And Mr. Jakarta Casual, same question to you. What do you think? How do you think they'll do?
Hi, greetings from a very chilly England. Saturday, but not many games on over here. Some weather stuff, it's all snowing and frosty and everything, so it's not much good for football. But anyway, we've got some proper football to look forward to, haven't we, over in Asia? And I don't mean Qatar, I mean the AFF Championship, which is the only international championship I take any interest in anyway, really. And I've been asked, how are Indonesia doing this? I've got no idea. I really haven't got a Scooby. They've been runners-up 6 times. They've been runners-up 2 out of the last 3, I think. Law of averages says they've got to win it one year, haven't they? They've got to win it. But law of averages don't always apply when it comes to Indonesian football. And going into the tournament, we've had issues with things like, for example, the Kanjo had tragedy where over 100 fans lost their lives. And then the game was put on hold for a few months while the authorities decided what to do. And they decided to do very little, actually, apart from banning fans from games for the time being. And now the league has restarted early this month. And so the games are becoming thick and fast, which means that either the players are going to be knackered or they're going to be untested, I suppose, depending on who's been picked. So the thing is, though, Indonesia's developed a core of talented young players who have looked good under STY when they've had the chance to play. So, I'm quietly optimistic that they could do okay. I think the thing is expectations in Indonesia. When the competition will start, they'll be like, yeah, well, whatever. But if Indonesia win a couple of group stage games, then it's going to be, we're going to win it, we're going to win it, we're going to win it. And that's the way it goes. It's either feast or famine. And of course, you're going to get the politician types and the peer society types saying, the target this year is to win it. We've done nothing to help you prepare for it, but the target is to win it. So I think that if Indonesia again gets to the semi-finals, I guess a useful draw in the semi-finals. But the beauty of this competition is that anyone can win it. So, apart from Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia are going to consider themselves with a chance of winning the trophy. So, it's a tough competition to win. But everyone does have a chance, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, the interesting thing, I think, also for Indonesia last, the Suzuki Cup, obviously, because it was running late because of COVID. But people didn't really expect a lot from Singapore, and they didn't expect a lot from the Philippines. There was a higher expectation on Indonesia, but particularly from a lot of the chat online from Indonesians speaking about the younger Indonesian players coming through. So who would you say, if you could give me one player, what player, one of the younger players coming through, is one for everyone to look out for maybe for Thailand and Vietnam and Malaysia to be scared of?
Jadi tentu untuk pemain yang bisa diperhatikan, bisa diawasi oleh negara-negara lain, tentu Witan Sulaiman, pemain berusia 21 tahun, sekarang sedang bermain di AC Trenčín di Slovakia. Dia merupakan pemain kunci untuk Sinteyong. Tahun lalu juga dia menunjukkan kelasnya di AFF MITSUBISHI CUP 2020. Dan di pertandingan melawan Kursau juga kita lihat sendiri bahwa Witan Sulaiman mempunyai impact yang sangat besar untuk timnas, untuk klub, bahkan untuk Sinteyong itu sendiri. Jadi saya pikir tahun ini adalah tahunnya Sinteyong, tahun ini adalah tahunnya Witan Sulaiman, dan shout out untuk Malaysia, Singapura, Vietnam, Thailand untuk aware, untuk mewaspadai Witan Sulaiman.
So you're definitely a man with your finger on the pulse. Anthony, Jakarta Casual, kind of getting confused which one to use, but what do you think? What's your thoughts?
All right, who to look out for in the Indonesian team? I think, not just younger players, but Ilyas Vasiljevic. He's now nearly the same age as me, I guess, and he's still doing the business. Will he be able to continue doing the business for Indonesia in this competition? That remains to be seen. Another aging player who may or may not be involved is Jordi Amat, who plays for JDT in Malaysia. A player with a strong pedigree. He's been around a bit. He knows a bit from European football. If he's involved, how will he get on? And Sandy Walsh, who has been talked about for a long time. I think he plays in Belgium and Meckerland, I think it is. And if he gets a look in, how will he fare? Straight from never having played international football with Indonesia, straight into the cut and thrust of this competition. Another group of players I think always worth looking out for are the diaspora, which is nice to talk about because for a long time we haven't had one. Asnawi, who's in Korea, and apparently he's been linked with League KL teams, Korea League teams. He's still only 23. It's on Wikipedia, so it must be true. Pratama Ahan, who was a player in the tournament last time round, how's he evolved? Has he developed from playing in Japan with Tokyo Verdy? And then the two European lads, Witan Sulaiman and Egy Maulana, they've been punching almost veteran stage, even though they're in their early 20s still. What can they bring to the tournament that they've learned from playing in Europe, from being in Europe, and training in Europe, different lives, different approach to football over there. One player we won't be seeing is Elkan Bagut, who has decided he wants to stay with Gillingham for the period over Christmas, which is a busy time in English football. And I've seen him play a couple of times recently. He reminds me a bit of by Haki Kaiser, the Singapore player. He's tall, good on the ground, and he chips in with goals once in a while as well. So he's played very well. I saw him play against Brentford. He did really well against in the FA Cup tie at Gillingham, won to earn themselves a tie against Leicester or Wolves, one of the two. Anyway, so he's decided to stick for that. And it's a shame to see so many people in Indonesia slating him, but everyone's a warrior behind a keyboard, aren't they? So, like I say, a good squad, a useful looking squad that what they lack is, time playing together. You look at teams like Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and the friendlies they played recently, Indonesia. They're in the middle of the season, so anything that Indonesian players can achieve and the coach can achieve is in spite of the authorities and not because of them.
So, with that said, who do you think, in fact, let me think, how do I say this the right way? Who do you think is the biggest threat to Indonesia, to stop Indonesia winning? I mean, do you think that Indonesia can go the whole way? First, I should ask, do you think Indonesia can go the whole way to win the Mitsubishi Cup?
Jadi untuk negara yang patut kita waspadai adalah tentu selama ini adalah Malaysia, namun pelatih Malaysia sendiri mengumumkan bahwa skuad yang akan ditampilkan merupakan pemain yang lapis kedua. Jadi saya pikir untuk tahun ini bukan Malaysia namun Vietnam, karena pertandingan terakhir untuk Park Hang-seo, turnamen untuk Park Hang-seo tentu akan menjadi turnamen yang spesial untuk Vietnam.
Some superb answers there. Thank you very much to Jakarta Casual and to Putra for helping us with that. I hope that you found something in there that's interesting. I'm sure you did. Also, remember to check the other ones. Check out Brunei, check out Cambodia, because we got a lot more to come.